In a small town, there lived a boy named Ethan. Ethan was 8 years old, with bright, curious eyes and a heart full of dreams. He loved to play soccer, draw pictures, and read adventure books. But above all, Ethan longed for something he once had, but had lost: his father's love. Ethan's parents, Sarah and Mark, had gotten divorced when he was 6. The memories of their happy family days were still fresh in Ethan's mind. He remembered the laughter, the bedtime stories, and the soccer games in the backyard. But now, those moments felt like fragments of a distant dream. After the divorce, Ethan lived with his mother, Sarah. She was kind and loving, doing her best to fill the void left by Mark's absence. But Ethan couldn't help but miss his father. Mark had moved to another city for work and only visited occasionally. Each visit was a whirlwind of emotions for Ethan, filled with hope, joy, and then the inevitable sadness when it was time for his father to leave again. One rainy afternoon, Ethan sat by the window, watching the raindrops race down the glass. He clutched a small photo album in his hands, flipping through the pages filled with pictures of happier times. His heart ached as he looked at a photo of himself sitting on his father's shoulders, both of them grinning from ear to ear.
Ethan, honey, it's time for dinner.
Sarah called from the kitchen. Ethan wiped away a tear and closed the album. He joined his mother at the table, trying to put on a brave face. Sarah noticed his sadness and reached out to hold his hand.
Do you want to talk about it?
She asked gently. Ethan shook his head, not wanting to burden his mother with his feelings. Instead, he tried to focus on his dinner, but the ache in his heart wouldn't go away. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan's longing for his father grew stronger. He decided to write a letter, hoping that his words could bridge the gap between them. He poured his heart into the letter, describing his days at school, his soccer games, and how much he missed their time together. With his mother's help, Ethan mailed the letter to his father. He waited anxiously for a reply, checking the mailbox every day. Weeks passed, and just when Ethan was beginning to lose hope, a letter arrived. Ethan tore open the envelope, his heart pounding with anticipation. Inside was a handwritten letter from his father. Mark expressed his love for Ethan and apologized for not being around as much as he wanted to be. He promised to visit more often and to make up for the lost time. True to his word, Mark began visiting more frequently. Each visit was a precious gift to Ethan. They played soccer, went fishing, and shared stories late into the night. Slowly, the bond between father and son began to heal. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Mark and Ethan sat on the porch, watching the sky turn shades of pink and orange. Mark put his arm around Ethan and pulled him close.
I'm sorry, I haven't been there for you, Ethan.
Mark said, his voice filled with emotion.
But I promise, from now on, I'll be here for you.
Ethan looked up at his father, his eyes filled with tears of joy.
I love you, Dad.
He whispered.
I love you too, son.
Mark replied, hugging him tightly. In that moment, Ethan's heart felt lighter than it had in years. The longing that had once consumed him was replaced by the warmth of his father's love. And as they sat together, watching the stars appear in the sky, Ethan knew that no matter what, he would always have his father's love. The end.